Hi guys, so this is my analysis update on GU. What am I expecting on GU? If you watch my previous analysis on GU, I said I was expecting GU to push to the downside, but I said that I was expecting GU to come up to this trend line right here and an imbalance right around this area right here before we now have a possible push to the downside. And my reason was because there was an imbalance around this area right here. We can see from here to here there is this imbalance right here, and I said there's a possibility we might push up a little bit, pushing to the downside, and we can see break of structure here. Let me go to a smaller time frame. So we can see there is this break of structure around this area right here. So I said there's a possibility that we might push up a little bit before we now push to the downside. But as we can see that we did not push to at least around this area right here. We just came to this zone right here. If I put a box here, we can see, if we look left, we can see that whenever we get to this zone, there's a rejection, a rejection, a rejection. So that was a possibility that it might reject here, it might not push to the upside. So as we can see that it's rejected around that area, then continue to push to the downside. So this will have been a good entry as long as we see this engulfing. If this candle here weak around the zone, this other one is an engulfing candle, so we would have entered right there just to see, which is around here. So yeah, come up here and possible push. Yeah, so that will be like the move right there. So now what am I looking at on GU based on what we are seeing right now? I'm still seeing it continuing to push to the downside as long as we are still below this trend line right here, below this trend line, then we should be expecting more of a sell. All right, so now what are we looking at right now? We can see, let me delete this one. We can see there is still break of structure around this area. We can clone that. Let's bring that over here so we can still see there's still break of structure. Let me go to a smaller time frame just to look at what we are looking for. I can draw a trend line from here to here, possibly here to, from here to here. So currently GU is not giving me any kind of on GU I'm still seeing it to continue to push to the downside on GU, and since we currently going to the downtrend, right, I see it. So on GU now, right, the current price action is not giving us a big momentum yet, but I still see it continuing to push to the downside on GU. So my next target on GU overall for the down move will be my negative 61.8% fib level, 0.8% fib level, which is my target around that area right here. But let's see how it plays out, because it's not giving us a huge momentum right now to continue to push to the downside. So my scenario is there's a possibility we might push up a little bit to give us a touch of the trend line, then continue to push to the downside. That's a possibility. Let me go to another time frame and see. We can also see this engulfing candle right here, so we can say we might come up here a little bit. So let me see, that's a 30-minute that's a 30 minutes time frame right there. So an imbalance right here. So those are like the points of interest I am looking for. We can see it. So Instead of going up to this, we might just push up a little bit to fill this imbalance right here and continue to push to the downside. So I will be watching for this zone right here, which is 1.23902, around that area. Then if I see weak rejection and I see an engulfing bearish candle right here, I'm going to take my trade, and then I'm going to write it down to my negative 61.8% fib level. But in case if we break this zone right here, they're possible it might come up a little bit to touch this trend line right here, touch of trend line, to give us a possible third touch of trend line that we might continue to push to the downside after then. But my bias on GU is more of a sell than a buy because we are on a sell momentum. So I'm just gonna put my my scenario right here. So I think we might push up a little bit, maybe to here, before we now push to the downside, because overall right there, and this is a really good let me see how many pips that is from here to here. That's almost 95 pips, so around that area right there, which is good pips. We just have to be patient to see how that goes, but I think this is how we are going to, or we might push up a little bit to at least touch this trend line right here before we now push to the downside. So those are my scenarios. Let me change the color of that. So those are my scenarios on GU, guys. Hope you guys find this helpful. If you do, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share, and I'll see you in my next analysis, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.